A big part of your practice is weight loss. Tell me about that.
Well, it's weight loss, but it's not weight loss. It's about metabolic healing. And that's the basic fundamental difference between what we do and, say, what you might have happen if you walked into a local weight loss clinic.
Okay.
The problem with most commercial weight loss solutions is that you lose lean body mass, you don't lose fat. And so you perpetuate a cycle of yo-yo dieting. And it's a very sad story. We see people all the time who come in with tremendously damaged metabolisms because they've either done various diets on their own, or they've been to a number of diet clinics, or they've been on a liquid fast, and they're just at their wits' end because...
So what does it mean when you say damaged metabolism?
Means they're not a good fat burner.
Okay. And you could turn that around?
We can turn that around, yes. And it really comes down to the fundamentals of one needing to be healthy in order to actually create lean body mass, which is what has to happen in order to lose fat weight. And so there's sort of two major concepts at work. One is that you have to create health.
Okay.
So that's where we're looking at what's out of whack, what needs to be fixed. And in that process, the other thing that needs to be addressed is that often people come up against areas of weight loss resistance.
Okay.
And there are many of these. It's completely unique to the individual.
So what are you addressing? Patient goes to see you for weight loss. You're looking at hormones, you're running tests. What are you doing?
Well, we're doing, at the initial visit, we're doing a complete history of what's happened to their metabolism throughout their life. You know, were they overweight as a teenager? Did they have period problems? Did they have trouble losing weight after their first baby? Did they go on a liquid diet? Those sorts of things. And
or unexplained weight loss. Or anticipating this interview with you, some people say, I just can't lose weight the way I used to. Ask Dr. Mack.
Or my metabolism has changed. And
yeah, right.
Right, and indeed...
You can help that.
That's right, because your metabolism is not supposed to change as you get older. It's a myth. We as Americans damage our metabolism from eating poor quality food.
Poor quality food leads to damaged metabolism.
Yes, as does living in a state of constant alert or distress, which we do. You know, we have a very unnatural environment. We drive on the freeway at 70 miles an hour. You know, we're constantly bombarded with negative images from television.
Okay.
So if your home is a sanctuary, which for many people it isn't, then that may be the one time of day when actually you quiet your stress hormones. But the irony, I guess, that underlines that is that many people, by the time they come and are wanting to lose weight, are also burnt out, if you want, on some level.
Okay.
And so they're actually running their days on stress hormones, and that's one of the things that's preventing them from losing weight.
So, to give me a summary of your approach to weight loss then, what are you putting together? Diet, exercise, supplements?
Supplements, detailed body composition analysis so that we make sure that the weight they're losing is fat and not muscle.
Okay.
Which is something that's not done in the commercial, you know, weight loss centers.
So you look at fat. Okay.
We look at fat, and we also look at, you know, we will have one of the newer body composition machines which looks at where the fat is, you know, how much is in your arms, your legs versus your torso. And that's very helpful also in terms of giving little insights into what hormonal imbalances might be at play in terms of their metabolism.
Okay.
And it's also a strong motivator for people to see that they're actually not just losing fat, but that they are actually gaining lean body mass, because that's what determines your basal metabolic rate, or how many calories you burn in a day.
What happens next?
Well, we also do an extensive number of lab tests to sort of get a feel for what's going on with that person's metabolism, and that's everything from basic blood sugar and hemoglobin A1C levels to right through the gamut of doing the newer fat hormone testing of leptin, ghrelin, and adiponectin. And there are a wide variety of tests that can be called into play if somebody appears to have as I said, an area of weight loss resistance. So for example, if I think that some other medical problem is keeping them from repairing their metabolism.
Like what?
food allergies, for example.
Interesting, okay.
Or that their digestive health is not good and therefore they can't absorb the nutrients they need to detoxify their body.
Okay.
All of those things come into play, and everybody comes in with a different combination. So basically, once that extensive history is taken, their body composition is looked at, there's a general overview done of what's exactly going on with their metabolism, then we create an individualized solution, because that's the other fundamental difference, is that if you go to the average weight loss clinic, everyone gets the same package.
So how are you any different than what I hear all of the time? Eat less, exercise more. Isn't it as simple as that?
No, in fact, that's probably one of the commonest misconceptions or untruths in healing someone's metabolism. The last thing that someone with a damaged metabolism needs to do is to restrict what they eat. For most people, it's a question of improving the quality of what they eat, as well as balancing their proteins and carbohydrates, micronutrients.
Okay.
The exercise question comes together with that also very importantly, because most people are actually doing the wrong kind of exercise. If they are indeed having enough energy to exercise, and many people by the time they come for a metabolic healing are so tired that they're not ready to exercise, but those that are often doing the wrong kind of exercise, and I mean primarily aerobic.
Okay.
The reason being that aerobic exercise essentially ramps up your stress hormones, and those are the hormones that for most people we are trying to quieten down.
Do you find that these people are over-exercising?
Yes, they're over-exercising, they're doing too much cardio, not enough strength
training. So you
training.
put it all together in your practice?
We try to put it all together, yes.
What about hormones and weight loss?
Hormones are often very much a part of creating a metabolic healing. There are many hormone imbalances that can contribute to being over-fat or under-lean.
Like what? Give me an example.
Well, thyroid is a prime example. Many people come to us with thyroid lab tests that they've had done already, which they've been told are all normal.
Right.
But in fact, they often are not enough testing, or the range that is being quoted is really and truly not a healthy range.
You told me off camera that, that thyroid is misdiagnosed all of the time.
It's a very common problem. For example, if you look at the normal range for what a TSH is, which stands for thyroid stimulating hormone, the normal range is basically what the average American is.
Okay.
And so it does not, unfortunately, reflect health. Therefore, we need to look at a little bit more narrow window, which is much more specific to a healthy thyroid. So many of these people coming with what have been told to them are normal thyroid tests actually have sluggish thyroids, and that makes them have basically a slower metabolism. So that's something that needs to be fixed.
What are other hormones that can affect fat metabolism?
Well, of course, there are female hormones, as most women that have gone through perimenopause or menopause will tell you that something does change in your metabolism. That's a little bit of a long story, but the short version is that most people have been under a less than healthy lifestyle, more stress, and by the time they hit that phase of their life, they basically don't have the same kind of healthy hormone balance they did when they were in the early 20s. So we look at all the hormones that might be involved here, ranging from the different estrogens to progesterone, testosterone, which women need as well as men, DHEA, cortisol. Those are two hormones made in the adrenal glands. And that balance is quite important, because we often call the adrenal glands sort of the traffic cops for your energy, where they're deciding how much energy do you put into rebuilding and repairing. That's a hormone like DHEA, which might make that happen, versus how much energy do you put into being alert and awake and getting out and getting your job done, which is more of a cortisol thing. So you need them both, but you need them in balance. And the problem is that most people have lived a large part of their life leaning a little bit more heavily on the cortisol side of things. And so at some point in their life, sometimes even before premenopause, they reach a point where they don't have too many of those repair hormones, and you need those for lean body mass and true energy.
So how are you giving them the hormones? Topicals, injections, pills?
Well, we use only bioidentical hormones, meaning that they are chemically identical to what your body would make, and that's very important because that allows your body to use it properly and get rid of what it doesn't want.
Okay.
We use a variety of ways to get the hormone on board. We try to do what's going to most imitate a normal, healthy body balance. We might use creams, we might use sublingual drops or troches.
Okay.
It depends on the patient.
Let's